LinkedIn believes B2B marketing can be B2 brilliant, B2 bold, and B2 breakthrough. How? With a platform purpose-built to make B2B marketing mean more for your business. A platform with tools to help you build better relationships with your key customers, to boost your buyer's journey while building your brand. A platform with trusted data and lead generation you need to beat your KPIs, drive ROI, and stand out amongst the competition. And with the targeting tools on LinkedIn, you can reach your precise audience, right down to their job title, company name, location, and more, to make sure your ads are always seen by those who matter. So let's get ready to B2 boldly go where no marketer has gone before, because LinkedIn is where B2B is everything it can be. Rethink your B2B marketing ads and get $100 credit on your next campaign. Go to linkedin.com/MPN to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/MPN. Terms and conditions apply. Entrepreneurs Enigma is a podcast for the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. So the wins and the fails that we all face being entrepreneurs, and how we learn from adversity. Every week I talk to a different entrepreneur with a story to tell. I'm Seth Goldstein. Come with me on the journey. This is Entrepreneurs Enigma. Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Entrepreneurs Enigma podcast. I'm Seth. Today I have the esteemed pleasure of being on the show with Aunia Kahn, who is a designer extraordinaire, a storyteller, a marketer. She like how she says that she's a website and SEO unicorn, and she's also an internationally awarded artist. So a hot shot here in a good way. So that's very exciting. And you also do a lot with accessibility, which is really needed in the web design space. Because even I'm not that good with it. I try, but it can be an uphill battle sometimes.
As long as we're trying, Seth.
Yeah, but trying is half the battle. So Aunia, you've been doing this for a while. You've been doing this since '98. It looks like.
Yeah.
So have you always just been doing your own thing? Have you done other in-house things, or has it more been like you've been a consummate entrepreneur?
So I've always had an entrepreneurial streak. Like I have a picture of myself back when I was like maybe 5 or 6, sitting at my grandma's table with an old phone to my head with a bunch of books with wallpaper in them and a pen in my hand, and I'm like taking orders, right?
Oh,
like
that's awesome.
It was obvious.
Yeah.
It was like I'm running my own business. But my goal actually was not that. I wanted to be a therapist.
Oh.
And my whole trajectory of my life changed due to a situation, and it was partially to do with my health, but also it had to do with 9/11.
Oh, wow.
So I was trying to go, I had moved to a different state. I was in school. I'd started a new job, and I was on the first day of a new job. I was around 7 people I didn't know, and within an hour of being there, people are screaming. I run into the break room. 9/11's happening.
Oh, geez.
I freeze, and I just look at my coworkers, and I'm like, I gotta go. Like, can I leave? And they're like, sure. And I just never returned.
Oh, wow.
And after that, I wasn't able to find a lot of work, so I went ahead and volunteered for the Red Cross because not many people were hiring. We were in a extremely challenging situation.
Yeah.
Like, who's hiring? Yeah. Right. And I was in an industry at that time that wasn't really needing people. So I was a dental assistant. And
yeah.
And so they were like, yeah, we don't need people to clean people's teeth right now. Like, that's just not priority.
That's not top priority right now. Exactly.
So I had gotten a computer from a friend numerous years before that. I had learned web design, graphic design, and it was all just this fun thing. I created album covers and built websites for friends, and it was not at all something I even remotely thought of as a career at all.
When we were younger, web design was in its infancy. There wasn't something called digital marketing at that point. There was SEO, but it was before, it was pre-Google even, or around Google.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I was building my first websites on GeoCities or something.
I remember GeoCities. That was fun.
Yeah, Yeah, what happened after that was I had to decide what I was going to do to take care of myself. I was running out of money, and at the
Uh-oh.
same time, I started to have a lot of challenging health issues that made it almost impossible for me to work a normal job. And so I said, well, maybe I should take those skills and I should try to do something with them. And I went ahead and called a couple people I knew, and I got an interview at an agency, and I walked in and I was all excited to show them my rudimentary portfolio.
Yeah.
And they were like, and that's a no, come back in 5 years, 10 years.
Yeah.
Like,
You need the experience to get the job that you need to get the experience, that evil circle. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So I decided to create my own basically solopreneurship, and I asked friends and family and people, and slowly it's obviously birthed into what it is today. And
Yeah.
again, I didn't know I was going to be here. This was
Yeah.
not my life goal, but I love it. I'm glad I'm here. It
I'm
felt like
glad,
I was
yeah.
pushed in the right direction.
We're going to take a quick break, hear from our sponsors, and get right back to the show. LinkedIn believes B2B marketing can be B2 brilliant, B2 bold, and B2 breakthrough. How? With a platform purpose-built to make B2B marketing mean more for your business. A platform with tools to help you build better relationships with your key customers, to boost your buyer's journey while building your brand. A platform with trusted data and lead generation you need to beat your KPIs, drive ROI, and stand out amongst the competition. And with the targeting tools on LinkedIn, you can reach your precise audience right down to their job title, company name, location, and more to make sure your ads are always seen by those who matter. So let's get ready to B2 boldly go where no marketer has gone before, because LinkedIn is where B2B is everything it can be. Rethink your B2B marketing ads and get $100 credit on your next campaign. Go to linkedin.com/MPN to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/MPN. Terms and conditions apply. It's very similar to my thing. Like, I did something else, went in the web design, knew that I needed the experience to get the job. I needed the job to get the experience. And then 14, 15 years later, I'm still doing it on my own. Whoops.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So you're doing your own thing, and then you find yourself in Oregon, which is an amazing state. We were just talking about how it's been hot lately, but usually it's chilly because it's the Pacific Northwest, whereas it's always hot and humid in the summer in Philly, so go figure. What has been the best thing about being an entrepreneur?
I think the best thing for me being an entrepreneur, especially because I self-identify as a disabled entrepreneur, which is only self-proclaimed recently in the last year. I finally decided just to own it. Yeah. I was like, I can't change it. And if I'm working in accessibility, why can't I help other people gain accessibility in the digital space, as well as be a person that, is vocal about it, because not all disabilities are visible disabilities, and a lot of people don't understand that. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that it's not just wheelchair-bound people or people with seeing eye dogs, that it can be mental, it can be physical, internally physical. And being a web designer myself, you never quite know how your site is affecting the end user. You can only guess and say, all right, I'm going to do my best to make it as accessible as humanly possible to everybody. Exactly. And for me, entrepreneurship has allowed me to ebb and flow through the challenges of my life without disappointing people. So before, when I worked in the normal world and had a boss, I would be so let down by the fact that I could not be responsible, meaning I don't know from day to day if I'm going to be able to come in, and responsibility is a core value for me. Like, it really would eat me to not show up when I say I'm going to. And so in entrepreneurship, I can ebb and flow with my day and move appointments around and do what I need to do. And it's rare for me to have to share with anybody my private challenges. And I'm able to ebb and flow and do it in a way that has been less stressful, not letting people down. And of course, who doesn't like, waking up when you want to wake up and being surrounded by your dogs, or my partner works with me. Like, there's a lot of
that's brave.
Really great things.
Well, that's brave.
It is brave.
It might be even slightly crazy. I mean, my wife helps me in the business. She helps me with the books because my brain's not a mathematical brain. Ironically, for web design, there's some math involved, but that can all be
Yeah.
solved with a calculator. Whereas like the profit loss, I have her do all the business side of things for me. Which thank you, my wife. Thank you, Meredith. But I don't think we could ever fully do. Let's do this together. Which also brings up what's the scariest thing about being an entrepreneur?
I think the scariest thing about being an entrepreneur is not knowing from day to day how things are going to go. You can have a really amazing month or couple months, and then all of a sudden things could be quiet and dormant because something's going on in the world, or something has shifted, or your clients' needs have changed, and it's being able to kind of ebb and flow again. It's using that ability to just go with things. Entrepreneurship isn't a straightforward paycheck typically.
No, it definitely is not.
No. Not that there isn't people that have figured that out, but generally speaking, it's not straightforward. But even though it's terrifying, I'm somebody who likes a good challenge.
Yeah.
So for me, if it's like, oh my goodness, things are quiet, or oh, we just finished this job and we really don't have a large replacement job for that, it immediately in my gut makes me a little concerned, partially because I am a disabled person and I don't have a lot of other options but to do what I do. But I like a good challenge. So then I'm like, all right, well, how am I going to change this for myself? And how do I do that? And I'm so goal-oriented and challenge-driven that I kind of thrive in those environments, which is lucky. It kind of paralyzes my partner a little bit. But I'm like, we got it. Let's do it. We haven't killed each other yet, though, just so you know.
That's fantastic. So what is the most important thing to carry with you all the time?
Important thing that I carry with myself all the time, especially now, is a value system that I think everybody should consider. And through the industry, working freelance, then doing solopreneurship, to now being an agency, there has been challenges for me personally, and I think everybody goes through this. Your value, imposter syndrome, all of those things, which then actually puts you in a deficit.
It does.
But being able to really find what your value is, figure out what your skills are, and be willing to be confident without being an arrogant person.
Yeah.
You know, because that's a fine line, Seth.
It is.
Like,
it's very
I'm
fine
super
line, and you're doing a great job, so it's a good thing.
Oh, thanks. I think really values with working with clients or on projects. If people's values don't line up with mine, I'm not going to work with you for the money. I would rather be broke than work with somebody that will not treat people well, that doesn't believe in respect, all of those types of traits and values, and the mission to make things better than where you came from. Like, make it better than it was.
Exactly. It's the hiker mentality too. Leave the campsite the way better than it was when you came there. Exactly. It's very Oregonian of you.
Well, where I grew up was very similar to Oregon, so yeah.
Well, there you go. So Aunia, where's your hangout online?
Sure. So it's Rise Visible pretty much anywhere. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, our website, and then also if you were interested in looking at crazy, ridiculous art, it's just my name, AuniaKahn.com.
So AuniaKahn.
Correct.
It is wonderful. So on that note, thank you for being on the show, and we'll see everyone next week.
That was a great show. Hey, if you're enjoying Entrepreneurs Enigma, please give us a review on the podcast directory of your choice. We're on all of them. And these reviews really help others find the show. Also, if you're getting value from the show and want to buy me a coffee, go to the show notes and click on the link to help me stay awake while I bring you more great episodes to your ears. That's in the show notes, and I look forward to the next episode. Take care, guys.
Goldstein Media hopes you have enjoyed this episode. This podcast is one of the many great shows on the MPN Marketing Podcast Network.
You may know you're listening to this show along the Marketing Podcast Network, but did you know there are other great shows on MPN to help your business? Dan Farkas hosts a great podcast called The Strategic Communicator. Dan, tell us what these fine folks will hear when they listen.
Jason, it's pretty simple. The Strategic Communicator podcast talks with industry leaders about emerging trends and how we can use various forms of communication to make the world a better place. Anyone listening will leave with tangible ideas you can use to help with your PR and marketing efforts.
Amazing. Where can people subscribe?
Easy. You can go to passpr.com. You can find the show at marketingpodcast.net or just search the Strategic Communicator with Dan Farkas wherever you get your podcast.
You heard him, folks. Go get it. This podcast is heard along the Marketing Podcast Network. For more great marketing podcasts, visit marketingpodcasts.net.